Hello and welcome to That's Football. It's our weekly Premier League preview, Thursday nights at 8:30 every week, unless it's international break. Boo! Although international break week, we're going to have watch-alongs. We're going to have some international watch-alongs. Looking forward to that. However, let's crack on with the show. And the big news before we talk about the games this weekend and where the points are going to be, not only in real life but maybe fantasy Premier League as well, if you're into all that. Diego Costa will leave Chelsea to go to Atletico Madrid in January is the big news today. It was always going to happen, wasn't it? Will it be proved to be good for Chelsea is the big thing. I think Matic was a mistake to let him go to Manchester United, and I think all Chelsea fans would accept that. But Diego Costa, where do you sit on that? Morata is a good signing. I like Morata. I think he's a really good player. But Diego Costa or Morata, I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't like Diego Costa because he plays for a club that I don't support. But if he played for the club I supported and it's a choice between him and Morata, maybe in 2 or 3 years I'd go for Morata. But at the moment I'd go for Diego Costa because he's got that thing about him. He's got that thing that you don't like him when you're an opposition fan because he causes problems and he scores goals. And I think Conte's fallen out with Costa. You saw it last season, and I think maybe Conte needs to ship him off because of that. But again, I think Chelsea, will they miss Costa like they'll miss Matic, I believe, over the course of the season? But he will be going to Atletico Madrid this season. Good riddance, Costa, says CFC007. Chelsea fan, there you go. Doesn't get better than that from a Chelsea fan. Get rid of him. That's what I say. So let's have a look. 50 million for him, says Sally David. I'm not too sure how much he's going for, to be honest. I don't know. Not too sure at all. Did you hear Real Madrid lost their scoring every game streak, and they were only a couple of games away from breaking the record? Says IS7 is the best. Real Madrid not had a very good start to the season. But let's talk Premier League. And in the Premier League this weekend, we've got some big games. I think to start off with, Manchester United going to Southampton is a big game for Manchester United. Manchester City play Crystal Palace at home. I'm sorry, Palace. You're going to lose. It's just a matter of how many you lose by. And the way City are playing at the moment, be a brave man to say that it won't be at least 3-0, could be 4, 5, 6. So from a fancy Premier League point of view, if you've not got at least 2 City players in your attack, then I think you're going to miss out this weekend. Aguero's obvious, maybe Jesus as well, De Bruyne, David Silva. There's going to be a hatful of goals. So City are going to win. They're going to expect, they've got the same goal difference as United. I think City will be top come the end of this weekend simply because they'll blast Crystal Palace at home and be 3 points further ahead. And even if United win, I don't think United are going to go and blast Southampton away from home. I think United should be very happy with 3 points against Southampton. But then next weekend it flips round. United home to Palace, they should blast them. Chelsea play City, and City, well, are they going to blast Chelsea? They could do in their current form, but I think that they may drop points there. But that's for next week. So Chelsea play Stoke away from home. How will Stoke do? Great performances. They're home to Arsenal, 3 points. Drew with United. Last couple of games they've lost at Newcastle. Now entertaining Chelsea. Can they do it again? Because they raise their game. It's a bit of a trait for Mark Hughes, that, and Stoke. You know, against the Leicester teams, they struggle. When the big teams come along, they raise their game. Must be infuriating for a Stoke fan. But I feel that Chelsea will win that game. I think Chelsea, you know, they're doing okay at the moment. Drawing with Arsenal last week was disappointing for them, being the home side, but I think they'll beat Stoke. I think they've got more than enough quality to do that, and I think Chelsea will probably win that 2-0. Who else is playing? We've got Liverpool, Leicester, the return. I'll tell you what, I watched the highlights of that game, and Leicester, I know both teams put the Leicester sides out, but Leicester should have won that game. Sorry, Leicester did win the game. Sorry, Liverpool fans. Liverpool should have won that game. Very, very wasteful in goal, and then the defence lets them down again. On the weekend, a couple of players to come back for Leicester. Well, a few players to come back. I'm talking about Vardy and Mahrez especially. Liverpool will be stronger. I've just got a funny feeling Liverpool will win this game. A lot of pressure. Klopp starting to get a lot of stick. But I think Leicester haven't had a great start to the season. And I think they might be a bit overconfident because they won in the week. And that always plays into the hands of Liverpool. I think Liverpool are a better side away from home because the home side would normally have a go at them. And Liverpool work well when there's a bit of space for them to counter-attack into. I think if Leicester sat off them, like they probably would at Anfield, they're probably more likely to get a point. But I think Liverpool will win that one. I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool for that. Who else? Arsenal entertain West Bromwich Albion on Monday night. Now, this did confuse me a little bit because it's Champions League week. So most of the big teams are playing, well, all of the big teams who are in the Champions League are playing on Saturday. So I was thinking, why are Arsenal playing on Monday? And then I remembered, you're in the Europa League. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but that I did initially think that. So Arsenal home to West Bromwich Albion. I think it'll be another win for Arsenal. You know, they've not conceded for a couple of games. They've got a good run of games from what I looked at, and I expect Arsenal to go on a little bit of a mini run until they play somebody half decent and probably bottle it again, because that's Arsenal, isn't it? But, you know, Wenger's almost on the edge of being sacked, and, well, will he ever be sacked? But you know what I mean. And then they play a few of the teams that they should beat, which they do. And, you know, it was a good result for them last week against Chelsea, to be fair, because I really did think Chelsea would win that. But West Brom had a good start. They've sort of slumped into a bad start, a bad few games. So I think Arsenal will win that game. Pick of the other games, Saturday lunchtime. We're doing it on the show. There you go. Watch along on Saturday lunchtime from 12:30. We're going to do West Ham versus Spurs. We were going to do Celtic versus Rangers, but everybody's been saying they'd rather us did Spurs versus West Ham. So we're going to do Spurs versus West Ham. I was all for doing Celtic Rangers, but we're going to do Spurs versus West Ham. Kofi's just said what's going to be the watch along match this weekend. Well, I can tell you what the next two watch alongs are going to be actually. So it's going to be Spurs versus West Ham at the weekend, 12:30 kickoff. And then Tuesday night, it's going to be Real Madrid versus Dortmund, our first non-English club watch-along, which I'm looking forward to. And then in the international break, we're going to do a couple there. I've not looked at the fixtures yet. We'll probably do England, and if there's another good fixture, maybe between somebody like France or something like that, we'll do that as well. So looking forward to those. Hell Team says Chelsea are going to retain the title, I'm sure. Well, you know, I think it's Chelsea, City or United at the moment. It's going to change week to week. What are the other fixtures? Oh, Spurs, West Ham. West Ham at home, Spurs at home. It's the battle of the two teams who are rubbish at their new stadium, isn't it, really? I think Spurs away from home are a better team than they are at home. So I'm going to go Spurs to win that, and I think they might win it quite big. West Ham had a bit of a mini revival after a bad start, but I think Spurs need 3 points, and I expect them to get it. I'm going to go Spurs 3-1. Pick of the other games. Well, we'll go through all the other games. Swansea, Watford. Watford got absolutely hammered against Man City last week after a really good start. Swansea, good points at Spurs for them. I expect Swansea to get at least a point in this game. Watford, I think, there's a good start, but that Man City thing was a reality bite. And yeah, I think Swansea will get at least a point in that. But I'm going to go 1-1. Everton versus Bournemouth. Everton need to win that. I know they won last night in the League Cup, but Everton need to win that, and I think Everton will win it. So I'm going to go Everton 2-0. Bournemouth not had a very good start to the season. Burnley versus Huddersfield. Burnley are a good side at home. Huddersfield, I think, will struggle with relegation. If Huddersfield can get a point there, it'd be a massive point for them. I think it's going to be a Burnley win 2-1. And Brighton versus Newcastle is very hard to pick. Very hard to pick indeed. Yeah. Brighton, Newcastle. I'm going to go for Newcastle. I think Newcastle have suddenly got a load of points, so I'm going to go Newcastle to win that 1-0. I don't think there'll be many goals in that game. Let's have a look at some of your comments anyway. I don't know whether we've got a load of United fans as usual, or we've got a bit of a mix, but this is a general preview for Premier League games. It is, and it's went down even more than the League of this season, says Ryan McSwiggan. How about an Ireland game, says Sean Collins? Well, depending on who they're playing. I certainly think in the next international break there's some big games, isn't there? Aren't Ireland playing Wales or something? So that might be a good game to do. We'll definitely do that, I think. That's the great thing about That's Football, really. It's you know, we all have our clubs that we support, but we all watch other games, and that's what That's Football is all for, really. It's that sort of neutral, generic sort of game that you want to watch, and you want to watch it on a watch along. So that's what That's Football will be. So make sure you subscribe. Link in the video description. Sorry. Icon in the bottom right corner. Click that and subscribe. Make sure you click the bell so you get notified of every video that we do. And what else was going to say? Yeah, tell your friends about That's Football. There's lots and lots of comments that we want. We are going to just start doing Skype shows on here as well. We just want to get a lot more people from a lot more clubs sort of getting involved, really, before we start doing the calls in, so that people can call in and be like, all right, Billy, tell you what, Mark, that United fan you've just on, he's talking nonsense. Arsenal are a very good team. And then you get someone else on from Bournemouth. I'm just happy to be in the Premier League. They're not Welsh. That should have said Swansea. I got it wrong. But you know what I want? We know what we want. We want that follow-up call from a different club. Rachel Werman says she's going to go to the pub for Wales versus Ireland. I haven't checked when that is. I mean, it's not quite. It's not quite. I don't think international time. Sorry. Pratik says, has Roy Hodgson still got it? I don't think Roy Hodgson ever had it, to be honest. Anthony Martial's making some cracking comments. Mark, if you continue to ignore me, I will beat myself to a pulp, says Carl Took. Well, don't do that. And David Allen Taylor says that there is mention that Pogba could be on the bench on Saturday. Well, I think that dance that Pogba did on the video, if he's got a bad hamstring, then he should be getting fined by the club because you shouldn't be dancing like that. There will be a watch along for Manchester United, but that'll be on my on the United Stand channel at 3 o'clock on Saturday. But we will be doing at 12:30, Spurs versus West Ham. That's a democracy. I said let's do Rangers Celtic. It's a democracy. What I might do is do the first half an hour of Rangers Celtic and see how that goes, and then maybe drop onto Spurs. What's West Ham? West Ham. Hell Team says great channel. Thanks everyone. I think it's going to be a really good channel is what I'm going to say. Obviously I would say that myself, but I think it's got a lot of legs. It's early days. We're trying to sort out the sort of content stream. Definitely want to start doing the Skype shows because it will be really good. We just need to get a few more fans from other clubs to get involved and join in. We all know what clubs we support. That's not really relevant. It will be relevant when you've got your opinions, but we're trying to create a community here for all football fans. Champions League's back next week. Leicester Liverpool watch along, says Dan Butterworth. I thought about it, but that would be it's a long day. Maybe Xander might do it. Ask Xander, he might do it. There we go. Celtic are going to blow Rangers away, says Kai Malley. I think, yeah, I would agree with you on that, to be honest. And that one master says, if you could take one player from the bottom half of the table, who would you take? So let's have a look who's at the bottom in the bottom half at the moment. I'll tell you who I really do like, and it's just a name that pops into my head because that's quite a question where you need to really think about it. But the one player that does drop into my head was Shaqiri for Stoke. I think he's a really good player. But there will be better players than that. But Shaqiri from Stoke. Let's not forget Leicester are in the bottom half at the moment, so you could say Morez. West Brom aren't bottom half at the moment. West Ham, I like Antonio Valencia. Not Antonio Valencia. You know who I mean. Antonio. Michael Antonio. I do like him. I think he's very good. Hernandez. I like Hernandez. So there's a few in the bottom half. Premier League's got very good players in it. But I do like Shaqiri. Shaqiri. Hey Mark, referring back, if Sanchez is playing Europa, does that mean he is cup tied to the Europa League only? Or would he be able to come in January and play in the Champions League? That's from Virgil Hainsey. That's quite a relevant topic for many clubs because I think Alexis Sanchez may well leave Arsenal in January because if they keep him for the whole season, they'll lose him for nothing. If they sell him in January, they'll get about 20 million. I think if you play in the Europa League, you're not cup tied for the Champions League. That is my theory. I don't know whether that's correct, but I'm pretty sure it is. A lot of love for Bakayoko tonight. I'm not massively impressed with him so far. Hell Team says, do Chelsea versus Atletico or Bayern versus PSG on Wednesday, mate? I would love to. We are doing Real Madrid Dortmund on Tuesday, but I will be doing Manchester United versus Spartak Moscow on Wednesday on the United Stand. Again, if Sander wants to do one of those games on here, I'm more than happy for him to do that. The idea on That's Football is to get more and more people involved. So I think it'd be a good idea to do. Let's see if Sander wants to get involved in that. Anyway, we've done it. That's the Premier League preview. As I said, fancy Premier League this weekend. I think you've got to be going for City players in the attacking sense. They're going to score a lot of goals. It might even be worth to have a City defender, although I've got a funny feeling Palace might score. From a defensive point of view, who's going to get you clean sheets? If I'm looking at that game, Manchester United players, clean sheets, not a bad one because Southampton are struggling to score, although maybe the home advantage helps them. I think Everton will keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth, and got a funny feeling Arsenal might as well. They're doing very well defensively at the moment. So yeah, they'd be my pick for clean sheets. Everton, Arsenal, Manchester United. The goals, Manchester City, Arsenal again. I think Spurs as well. If you've got Harry Kane, I think he'll get a goal at least. Dan Butterworth says you need more than you and Xander doing content. Dan, tell me something we don't know. We've only started the channel 2 weeks ago. There will be more and more people getting involved. That's the plan. But you know, there's a long season ahead of us, and we don't want to bombard you with lots and lots of things, but we do want to get people involved. So that is the plan. Tell your friends, get subscribing. Bottom right hand corner with the hologram. Click subscribe and the bell. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to watch, drop a like, and we will be back on Saturday at about 12 o'clock with a watch along. Whether it's Celtic Rangers or Spurs West Ham, we will be back with the watch along. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.